Welcome back to Anglia Car Auctions. It is Wednesday evening now. I'm here with Fred.
Guy.
What a week, what a few weeks, what a month.
It's been fairly full on, hasn't it?
It has. It's been a very, very busy time, but as is somewhat of an Anglia Car Auctions tradition, we're going to give you a whistle-stop tour around all the cars in the sale. We're not going to dwell on too many, we can't. There's 265, I think.
And light is fading very quickly.
Faded.
Faded is probably a better word, to be fair. Yeah, it's that time of year, isn't it? And that has put a challenge on getting the sale together, but we've done it, we've got there, and here it is.
The last few stickers are being put in the cars. There you can see Dan over there. He's a master with the sticking tape.
he's got his licence to put it on, isn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely. So look, we're not going to dwell, but what a car to start the sale. This is the first car going through at 12 o'clock on Saturday. Now it's a standard Vanguard. We have a fair few of these in the sale.
We do.
Very rarely are they as nice as this one.
I was going to say, when this was emailed across to us, the photos weren't as good as the car, I have to say, looking at it here in person. When it arrived, I was very pleasantly surprised by it. And I think it will do really well. We've put it as the first car. It's a really, really nice thing. It's just been done very well. The thing is, it's had obviously a very good quality respray, but things like you look under the boot lid and that's original. It's been left, it hasn't been overdone.
Not over restored.
Interior's original.
Lovely, lovely interior. And we were told that the first owner had this car, certainly registered to them, up until something like 2014.
Yeah. And I say, I took it down the road actually for the photos, ran really nicely too. So yeah, we've guided just £3,000 to £4,000 as well.
I've got a sneaky feeling that could do a little bit better. But maybe. We'll see, that's an auction. So, next car, something totally and utterly different.
This is a curveball, Guy, isn't it? Because maybe we wouldn't usually put this as an early one for Saturday, but why not? It's something different. It's a DB7, 1995.
The most important thing.
Yes. Oh, and have a look in here. Dale, just pan in. Go in there, and as you will see, it is manual. Yeah. So that is really, really exciting. A guide on this, just £8,000 to £10,000. I mean, you could own an Aston for £8,000 to £10,000.
Brilliant, and a manual one at that.
Yeah.
So third car in the sale, a car that's attracted a fair bit of interest, is this Citroen AX GT. Now I really like these. They're really funky interior.
Really, it's so of the period, isn't it?
Yep.
But again, this one has actually had a lot of interest online already. I think the bids are quite high already on this one.
Yep. And it's you can register, just to let you know, if you're interested in the sale, you can register online, and even if you can't attend the sale, you can place a pre-bid through the sale room, so that's always possible. All phone bids,
absolutely, commission bids.
Come in person. We love it when people come down.
It's always nice to see some faces, old and new.
Look at this. Now you and who was it? It was you and
I think it's me and Dan in this one. Yeah, and I have to say, you were laughing me at, when I was in the office car park trying to get into it. Maybe for the slightly sort of thinner framed, I will say.
That's why it rules me out. But what a fun car.
Yeah, and again, the chap drove it here as well. Yeah. It's only guided. We've got a guide 4.5 to 5.5. A great bit of fun for not a lot of money.
And Tigers are made not far away. They're really quite well regarded in the marketplace. So certainly a car to consider. You'll have a lot of fun, not only on the road, but you could do a bit of track fun days as well. Track days. Yeah, I think someone will really enjoy it.
Yeah.
BMW Z3, no reserve?
No reserve, yeah. I think, as I say, just again, a fun little convertible.
Great summer car, leather interior.
Yeah.
You've got a mohair roof on it. I just still love the little air strakes. Harking back to the BMWs of the 50s. Brilliant. Really pretty.
Yeah.
Look at this, little Mayfair Auto.
This is really clean, actually, I have to say.
Very, very clean. There's something quite nice about driving a Mini. There's something really quite nice. I remember when I was younger driving an automatic Mini and I didn't quite get it. More recently, I've driven quite a few, as you have,
Yes.
and they are brilliant. It just suits them as a fun little city car or just for blatting around.
I will say the perfect city car, and I think even modern cars actually struggle to come up to the level of this for a city car. Brilliant. Park it anywhere.
Yep.
Nippy. It just
And
perfect.
people will smile at you, and they will let you out of junctions because you're driving a Mini.
Yes.
Number of Jaguar XKs in the sale. Now, this XK8 is the fixed head, the coupe.
What's quite interesting about this one though, it's got the XKR bits on it. So you'll see the XKR wheels. I think you've got the XKR sort of badges and bits and pieces in there. It actually really looks the part. Also offer no reserve.
No reserve.
So
great looking car. Really, really fun car. And they are so much, they're such a lot of car for the money at the minute.
You
They
think
really
what
are.
that would have been new as well. You
Very,
know.
very expensive car. From a collection is this little 1932 Morris Minor. Loving the contrasting
Yes.
green wheels. So yeah, running and driving will want some recommissioning, guided very sensibly at £2,000 to £3,000. Now that is coming on to 100 years old.
Amazing, isn't it? Yeah, survived all this time, still
Absolutely.
here.
Now you were going to talk about
I'm going to
this.
say,
You have
I'm
to.
sorry, I have to say about this. So 2004 Alfa Romeo 156, but the GTA and the Sport Wagon, the estate. Now, my brother has one of these. His one's a 53 plate. His one has actually done 188,000 miles off the top of my head. So who says Alfas were unreliable? Because they can do the mileage. And what was really funny, when this was emailed in, I said to you guys, I said, oh my God, there's another one in Norfolk.
Yeah.
I was amazed. These Alphas just are fantastic. I actually took this down the road for the photos, and they sound, that Alpha V6 engine I think is one of the best sounding engines out there. They sound spot on. This one also offered no reserve. Again, a little bit of project you can do. As I say, the wings want some paintwork and bits and pieces, but for a no reserve entry and a very rare car as well, that is one to do the wings, do the bits and pieces too, and tuck away, I think.
Absolutely. Now I'm going to go, we've got a number of MGFs, MGTFs in the sale. Now this is an early car, so it's a 97 car, so within the first couple of years of production. Love it with the black hardtop. Really tidy, just a nice looking car. The owner, he's getting on, advancing years. He did buy it not too long ago, and it's time just to pass it on. And we're guiding this at 2,500 to 3,500. I think that's a great bit of
Usable
fun
car as well.
Usable classic.
Yeah.
And talking of usable classics.
Now, again, I have a little bit of a soft spot for these. So a 325i Touring and a manual as well. So 325 is the one you want and the manual. This one, I think, really, again, keenly guided. I think we've done £4,000 to £5,000. And again, a nice early entry for Saturday. I have one of these on my wish list. I think I have a bucket list of cars and one of these would be on it.
One of these is on it.
The shape of these, I mean, I just think are spot on. I think you said your dad had.
They did. So the
Yeah.
1st of August, 1988, I remember my dad coming back from the dealership with one of these on an F plate, F103NBJ.
Yes.
I wonder what happened to that, where it is now, whether it's still around or whether it's on the scrap heap. I hope not.
No.
But fantastic car, really, really great. Now several Beetles in the sale.
Yes, we do.
I really love the colour of this. Beetles are a bit of a fun, hip vehicle, and the colour suits it absolutely down to the ground. It's a 72. We've got two 72 Beetles in the sale. The other one completely different, being matte black or satin black. So
You've got the two options basically.
two options. This one is no reserve. Loving the sort of aftermarket alloy wheels. Very tidy inside. Let's see where that goes.
Yeah, again, a nice interesting one for Saturday. Now this one I really like, so the Mondeo ST200. Now what was quite interesting about this, it was an ex-police car.
Germany, did you say?
I think it was, yeah, over in Germany. One of the ways you can tell is
Right-hand drive.
right-hand drive.
So
yeah.
it would have been like the British military police over there, would you say?
And also it's not one, it wouldn't be sort of a patrol car as such, you know, it hasn't had sirens drilled into the roof and everything. But one of the ways you can tell is by the door handles. They're not colour coded, so that's one of the little signs for it. But it's got some paperwork.
You're getting quite technical. I like it. I like it.
We've, but as I say, it's got some paperwork from when it was over there as well. I think actually really well presented. I like it in white. Guide on this one 4,000 to 6,000. I think Mark II Mitch will certainly be interested in this. I know he'll be watching. But
they do. They're a car. Fords always have a huge following, and we've got. I mean, there's a lot of Fords we're going to tell you about in the sale today, but this is a bit of a sleeper. I think people are beginning to wake up to these, aren't they?
I think because bear in mind this 2001, I think the earlier stuff has shot up massively, and now this sort of early noughties is starting to follow
get
suit.
in there.
Yeah.
Tried and tested V6 engine as well, which made it into a vast number of other suitably fast vehicles. Loving the colour.
Yes.
Now, what colour beige, I don't know. So it's been muted as stunning beige or hearing aid beige.
Possibly hearing aid beige,
but
I think.
I love this. They're a very, very solid car. Very, very British. I think these cars, these A40 Devons, were made with a thicker steel. You very rarely see a really rusty one.
No.
And I like this.
Yes.
3,000 to 4,000 as a guide. A lovely original interior. Look at the dials, look at the banjo type steering wheel, and sort of the Bakelite switches. Dale, if you just have a quick look through there.
I was going to say, and it's a cliche that we don't like to use, but the word patina, but actually that does have something about it, which it's quite nice just to leave as is, I think. Very
much. Now, why is there a gold mobile phone on top of this Nissan Primera? Please explain.
Well, Guy, and for all of those wondering at home, this Nissan Primera, a really interesting one. So 1991, the award on top of it is from the Festival of the Unexceptional.
Now, we need to get there.
Yes.
We need to go. There's got to be an ACA outing, I think.
Again, it's been on my bucket list to do, and I think that is certainly worth the day out. But there's some really interesting cars, and this one, what a survivor. I think that's the best way to describe this, a survivor car. I think mileage-wise, we were looking 44,000 miles. So, yeah.
Automatic. Yes. So if you haven't got a manual driving license, this is a perfect way to get into a really easy to use. These Japanese cars of this era, they're so easy to drive.
Yeah.
So really easy car to drive. Stand out. What was once very, very common on
have
the
now
road.
Just disappeared.
Just vanished.
And this one, it's a really nicely presented, guided 3,000 to 4,000, but for a survivor car, I think that's, again, one possibly worth tucking away.
Definitely. Now, we're going to have to go back here, otherwise we're going to be doubling back on ourselves.
Yes.
So another early car going through is this Sunbeam Alpine. Now, I love the colour. What a shape.
Yeah.
Chrome wire wheels.
And we've got two Sunbeam Alpines in the sale, haven't we?
We do. This one's with its standard engine. The other one's fitted with a Ford V6.
Yeah.
But lovely car. This one we're guiding at 4,500 to 6,000 pounds. I think it's a great little car that someone can just do a few bits to over the winter.
Yeah.
And be out on the classic car scene next year.
Absolutely. This one, now I know this is one of your favourites as well. This
Panther Calista.
Which I think just for the name.
The name is amazing. So 2.8 Ford fuel injected V6 engine. What a car. You've obviously got classic looks in a more modern package.
But almost that, as I say, is the best of both worlds, isn't it?
Yeah.
You've got something that's usable, but something that also still looks the part.
Absolutely. No reserve?
No reserve entry as well.
So another no reserve entry is this 87 Alfa Romeo Spider. Right-hand drive, which for those of you that shy away from the left-hand drive Italian cars, here we are, steering wheel on the right side for you, but no reserve. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes.
Now, I'd say a proper classic, Rover P2. Again, the chap's done a bit of work to it. He sort of had it as a kind of a project, put it back in now. He sort of liked doing a few bits and pieces to it. But yeah, again, you say about 1937, and it's here. It's a survivor.
It's yeah, great in black.
Yep.
Many cars were black back in the day, weren't they?
Absolutely.
And yeah, I like that. Great shape with the picnic hamper on the back. Now, to wash or not to wash? That is the question.
We're talking about the cars, Guy, I would stress.
Absolutely. So this is an 84 Ford Escort Cabriolet. Look at that.
Yeah.
Now,
again,
XR3 I. It does run, it does drive. It is a car you're going to need to do a little bit of work to.
So basically, as I say, I think they've put a battery on it, put some fresh fuel in it. It's been in storage, but because of that, obviously we haven't taken it down the road.
Yep.
It is just one that we'll want going through, but does run in drive. And again, I think because it's been in storage, it saved it. You know, it looks very reasonable on the arches, etc. So
yeah, be interesting to see where that goes. And how about something so along the lines of the Mondeo, future classic VXR Astra. Now you've got the Ford camp and you've got the Vauxhall camp. This has had quite a lot of attention. They go like stink. A lot of the youngsters who had these back in the day are now grown up and mature and are buying them back again. So yeah, really, really interesting car.
And got the plate to suit it as well.
Absolutely, VXR. Rover P6, this is the 3.5 litre S, so it's the manual gearbox V8 version. Love the Everflex roof, love those sort of pleated seats.
This is one of a Jeffrey favourites, I think. It's
how many P6s has Jess had in his life?
I did ask him that, and I think he got to 20 and lost track. So more than that.
Definitely. Mark 1 Jag.
Yes.
Now look at this.
Wire wheels.
Wire wheels, painted wire wheels, which is great. Steering wheel on the right, which is good to see. I'm going to use your word, a patinated interior,
yes,
but running and driving, very sensibly guided, and I think this could go quite well. We sold the George Formby Mark 1 Jag.
We did.
A few years ago now, and this is 3.4.
Yeah.
Same as the George Formby. So yeah, very, very interesting car.
I will just make a mention, we have covered this. We did a video the other day on it. The high mileage BMW 635.
Guess the mileage, I love it.
It's incredible. I mean, I've still had people ring up and say, is that right? It's 529,000 miles.
529,000 miles. That is a lot of Green Shield stamps back in the day and Shell bonus points on the fuel.
I wonder how many tanks of fuel this car has consumed in that period.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But also, say, a two-owner car as well, and say the second owner having it, I think it was since about a year old. But yeah, what a car.
Amazing, even with those miles, it was off the road for about 10 years. So, you know, they've been condensed into a period. Fascinating. You're nearer. So, again, talk about colour.
Yes.
Look at that.
The Chevrolet, I mean, again, with classics, I always say go bold with the colour.
Yes.
And I don't think you can deny.
Go big, go bold.
Absolutely. Another no reserve entry that we've got in, and I think that, you know, it's a bit of a curveball. You're not going to see too many over here.
You won't see many of these Z28 V8s on the road.
You've got the, lovely roof as well, so yeah, perfect fun for the summer. But no, be interesting to see what that one does.
Brilliant. Now, I'm going to make mention of this 72 Land Rover Series 3. So it's the 109 long wheelbase recovery. So it's got the, I think it's a Harvey Frost in the back. What a great thing. Sign written up. Really like it. Rebuilt onto a galvanised chassis.
And that is the key, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, that really
on the front
does make a difference.
Love it. Guiding it 5 to 7. Quite a bit of interest in that, and what a piece. Bit different.
Yeah.
Something a little bit smaller.
This lovely Shogun, Mitsubishi Shogun Pinin, now only done just under 13,000 miles, and I think that's a really good thing. I always talk about with new cars, I'm always amazed. We have a few dealerships over the road from us, and every time I pass them, I'm amazed at modern car prices. How about buy something like this with just 13,000 miles and use it, guided £3,000 to £5,000. Again, what you think the modern equivalent of this would cost?
30?
Yes, easily. Yeah.
So it's mad. Now, Cortina, little bit of a curveball, this one. So ex-South African car, it's the 3-litre V6. It is a real eyeful. Ford Cobra livery, lovely sort of bucket seats. Sounds lovely, sitting on alloy wheels. Quite a bit of interest in that, and we're guiding that £7,000 to £9,000. And the last one in this haul, I think that's the last one in this haul, is this. So it looks like a 1970s Volkswagen T2 camper. And in essence, it is. But in fact, it's one of the very last made. It's a 2006 T2 camper. So you've got more modern drivetrain and mechanicals in lovely condition. Dale, you can probably see down that side, it stands out. But what makes this one an interesting entry is the fact it's had one owner from new and it's being entered no reserve.
Incredible.
So let's see where that goes. Now, out into the dark.
We're venturing out into the darkness.
I'll let you handle that side.
Yes.
I'll stay here and we'll whip through. So,
that sounds.
Kick us off with the Vitesse.
Vitesse, always popular at ACA. We do like a Vitesse. Again, I think because they're quite usable, they tend to do well. This one we've guided 3.5 to 4.5. Not a lot for a Vitesse, to be fair. Nowadays, you know, they have come up quite a bit in value.
They
so
have
I think
lovely straight six engine, which sort of differentiates it from the Herald.
Yes.
Now, if this Mercedes, it's the 123 series, and it's a 280 CE, so just the two-door coupe. They're very much a very usable classic car. I like them an awful lot. They're sort of the feeling of being hewn from solid granite, and we're guiding this at 5 to 7. Freddie, we have a XKR, so we had the XK8 in there, and this is the XKR, which is the supercharged version.
Now, this was a late entry to us. It only arrived, I think, today, didn't it?
It did, yeah. So we haven't had a chance to fully go around it. We'll be getting the ticket on it for tomorrow.
Yep. I'll just make a mention of this Fiat Coupe. Again, I like a Fiat. Fiat Coupe, one registered owner from new. Driven here to the sale as well, I think about 100 miles to the sale. Guide of 4 to 6 on it. I know Andy, our lorry driver, has a partial taking to
He has
a
weakness.
Yeah, again, but a usable car. So that's be an interesting one. One owner.
Little Austin 1300 auto. Great. The mainstay of I think if you went back to the 70s, every car park would have been full of cars such as that. Modern classic, Mercedes SLK 230 compressor. We've got the Rover 25 just here, and a real curveball because it's so rare, and why not? A Proton Satira Lux Sport Auto, no reserve, 47,000 miles. Find another.
Yeah,
I think that could be going to the Festival of the Unexceptional.
That may qualify, absolutely. Wolseley 1500 over here. I think this one had been in sort of long-term ownership. It's only 2 registered keepers recorded on that one. It was used for wedding use as well, I believe. So quite an interesting one. We've got the 735 BMW. Now this one, you look at it and you think, is it an Alpina? It's dressed as an Alpina. It is a 735, but I think really looks the part actually. Really does suit it. Offered no reserve, and I think we've even got some wheels in the back, the original wheels in there too.
Audi TT. We love an Audi TT. They're really establishing themselves in the classic car world. Toyota MR2, look at that for a striking green colour, offered no reserve.
No reserve. The Granada 1984, I think it's dressed as sort of the Sweeney one.
Look at the number plate.
Yeah, and I was going to say, Dale, if you have a quick peek in here, you may be able to see the radio and bits and pieces, so that's quite fun. Guided 3.5 to 4,500. And there's certainly a Ford sale, this one now. We've got some really exciting Fords coming up. You'll see in a moment as well, the stuff inside, some nice Ford entries.
Absolutely. Here we have a Mercedes SL 500 coming through, and to my right, the Bertoni styled
Astra.
Astra
again, a bit of fun when the sun's out. We've got the CRX, which they're a really rare sight now. Again, I know you had one, Guy, back in
I did.
Back in the day.
I had a red one, yeah.
Yeah, and no,
Pocket Rocket.
I really like these 1600, and yeah, really interesting to see.
Brilliant. Now, direct from the film company, this little Traveller. Now, we're going to call this one a Woody because it's got the extra wood effect panelling in there, which I think suits it quite well. Fiesta XR2i here, guided £4,000 to £6,000, and straight back at you, Fred.
I was going to say another fast forward, the Mondeo ST200, another one we've got here. We've got the Mercedes little SLK, again always popular, 2.5 to 3.5. We've got the sorry, I was going to say I'm getting carried away. We've got the Defender, which I know you like, a Land Rover, Guy, but this one, Defender 90, a TDI, £6,000 to £8,000. Really, I mean, that'd be a great thing for the winter. You could do all the towing with that, and yeah, that would be a bit of fun.
Brilliant. And MGF just behind me. And no, we're not being collared by the long arm of the law. This is again direct from the film company. So cars like this are used in so many productions. They're really, really, really popular.
And often people do ask me, they say, well, what, you know, who would buy something like that? I mean, you can have, say, security companies will often buy them, and again, used on film sets and bits and pieces, but really cool.
If you own a factory,
yeah,
and you've been having a few problems, just park one of these in the car park. You know, lights go around. I think
you should be covered.
You should be covered, absolutely. So another Mercedes 123 Series CE just there, and here next to a more modern Mercedes. This is the CL. Yes, it's the coupe. No, it's not. It's the CLS. Sorry, and that's 500. The Audi Allroad. Now, this is a particularly rare model, being the 2.7 litre petrol twin turbo. So there's just hardly any of those left, and that's in really lovely condition. I was going to say, I've always promised myself.
Yeah, a bit of a curveball though, isn't it? Citroen CX, a future classic, I will say. But I mean, what a car!
Just look at the rear window.
They are
I know
fantastic.
we can't see too much because of the light, but I love this concave rear window. It's just such a beautiful. We will clean all the leaves off, obviously.
Yes.
Viewing in the morning. And this is the diesel version, so it's the 2.7 diesel engine, which also found its way into Jaguars,
yeah,
Land Rover Discoveries, so and Citroens.
And also, obviously, Citroen's famous suspension setup, one of the best riding cars out there. We've got the Jeep. This is the Orvis edition, actually. So quite interesting to see. No reserve entry, and yeah,
there's a lot of interest in this.
Well, again, I've never seen one.
Well, you probably have, but you just assume
it's a Jeep Wrangler. Yeah,
and that's the thing. I remember when these came out. I'm a few years older than you, only a few, and they were really just a sort of price point budget entry.
Yeah.
And I don't know what happened to them, they'd all vanished. But so to find one, and it's entered no reserve, is quite unusual.
Brilliant.
Do you want to go down those and we do a double row, Fred?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
Take those two?
Yep.
Oh, well, and then we can, yeah, then we'll finish those.
We'll go around the back there. So yeah, no, we've got we've got the Ford again. You can't miss it. F250. You've got the Hilux. Again, a good commercial. We like a commercial at ACA. They always do well here. You've got the 2CV. Citroen 2CV.
We always love a 2CV. There's something about the ride of a 2CV that just lollops along. The P100, I will just mention, we sold that a while ago, and the couple who've had it and enjoyed it are now moving on. But what makes this a little bit unusual is it's left-hand drive.
Yes.
So yeah, I remember I drove it round from when they dropped it off. But yeah, quite a fun, practical vehicle.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
And again, something really unusual is the XR4, but the 2 litre version.
Yeah.
Had a huge amount of money spent on it, hasn't it?
I was going to say our vendor has spent a lot on this.
Show me the photos,
yeah.
And you know, it's been literally stripped right back, fully repainted. All the repairs, the sunroofs tend to go. I mean, it's had a really lovely repair, proper metalwork gone into there. So
Yeah.
yeah, great project.
And only guided 2,750 to 3,750.
Yeah, fantastic. Now this is the VVC MGF here with hardtop in silver.
Yep, you've got the lovely little Morris Minor van. Again, a good commercial, interesting one to see. I always think when they're all sign written up, great advertising piece as well for a company.
The great, our vendor had an idea he was going to do that for his business. He bought it a few years ago, and soon after buying it, he put in a reconditioned engine. So there's actually an invoice on file, I forget, £1,800. So it's had a recon engine in it. So it sounds sweet. That A series engine, burbling out the little exhaust, really great. Well, if you mention those, I'll mention these as we're going past. So I'm going to go Ford Escort van. Again, I don't think we've had a sale recently without a Ford Escort van, and we have two in the sale, but one being much older than the other, so we'll come on to that later. Another XK8 Jaguar, and the little Volkswagen Caddy pickup. Again, a very rare survivor.
I was going to say, so we've got the SLK, another little SLK, the Fiesta, driven here by our vendor. Again, a good time warp car. I think we've only guided this £2,000 to £3,000.
Left-hand drive.
Left-hand drive,
we must mention, yes,
as well. So again, yeah, if you're taking it abroad, fantastic. I will mention behind me as well, MGTF, very sensible miles on this one. I think we're showing 35,500 miles. This was the 8th from last MGTF step speed built, and I think it was the 3rd from last UK production MGTF step speed built from that as well. So it's got all the paperwork in here. It's a really sensible miles, guide 2.5 to 3.5. We've got the Capri as well. Again, we love a Capri. Again, I keep saying it's a Ford sale. It's the 2.8 injection. I think this has had a bit of work done to it, Guy, as well.
It has, and we're guiding this £7,000 to £9,000. Freddie, what can you tell us?
You can't miss it, can you?
No.
A pink Micra, how about that? I do know it has a long MOT. It has just been MOT'd, so you've got October 25 MOT on it, and no reserve entry, so it's a bit of fun.
It is a bit of fun.
I think we just had to put it in because it was bright and it made us smile.
Absolutely. XK8 convertible, 3.5 to 4.5, and then a slightly newer SLK over there. A car that's really gaining in popularity is the Audi S3. Now, oops, sorry, I'm going always in the way. This is £3,000 to £4,000. You've got the leather Recaro interior, sort of leather and suede.
They look lovely, actually, don't they?
Yeah, so comfortable. But so many people are really waking up and paying attention to these because they go really well.
Absolutely. Morris Minor, again, wouldn't be a classic auction without a Morris Minor. 56 cars, it's split screen as well, no reserve entry. I think I took that one down for the photos down the road on that and ran quite sweetly. And we'll just pop down over the back.
We can't leave these out, so it's always hard to make sure you've covered where we're going. It's this 2007 Mini Cooper convertible. Great to see. Really good car, the CLK 320. It's the avant-garde convertible, no reserve. Another little Morris Minor, again, no reserve. So that's great to see. Choice of Morris Minors in this sale. The Rover Metro, it's the 1.1S edition.
Yeah.
Entered no reserve.
Driven to the sale as well.
Driven to the sale, MOT till October next year.
Yeah, so long MOT. I think the chap said it's been in, long-term family ownership, and he was quite sad to see it go, really.
Yeah, absolutely. Fiesta, left-hand drive, so two left-hand drive Fiestas.
Two left-hand drive Fiestas, and again, quite an original car, hasn't it? You can tell it just sort of hasn't really been messed about with.
Absolutely. Ford Focus ST170. Good to see they're a car, I think, that's really gathering momentum in the classic car world. And
the Bordeaux Range Rover, which I think if we're talking about value for money, this is really one that's up there. Del, just have a quick look at the interior. I love, obviously being the Bordeaux, you've got the cream and red combo, and I just think that looks absolutely spot on.
Yeah. These P38s have got a really good shape, I think.
Yeah, yeah. But again, not a lot of money. 3,750 to 4,750 is the guide on that.
No, brilliant. Right, well, let's go and take a couple of rows and see if we can whistle down. So, a sale wouldn't be complete in Norfolk without a Lotus made in Norfolk and a wedge.
And I love a Lotus XL. My dad, I think, had 3 of them.
I didn't know that.
And he had 2 of which were a company car. But yeah, no, they're really, again, I just love them. A lot of people say, you know, oh, well, what about this Spree? But this is an affordable option. I mean, guide of 5 to 7 on it, you know, and really looks the part.
Absolutely. Volvo 940 Highlander estate. No reserve. A very genuine looking car. There's a bit of a dent in one of the doors, and there is a spare door.
You do have the spare door. No reserve entry again, and say driven to the auction as well.
We've got go through. We've done that right. We go around this.
We'll go this way. Yeah.
Our Alpha. I'm going to have to leave you with the Alpha. Yes. As the Alpha man.
Yeah.
Same engine.
I was going to say the same V6 engine as we mentioned with the 156 GTA. Again, just have a quick look at the interior. Alphas have such a good interior on these. I mean, they just look lovely with all that leather in there. Now the Jaguar as well.
Sorry, I don't like to correct you.
Daimler. I am so sorry.
Sorry, but this is a bit of a rare one.
Yep.
And it's the Super V8, it's the long wheelbase version.
Now, I was going to say, being the Daimler, you will have the tray tables in the back.
Absolutely, and if you notice, Dale, if you can just have a look, this one comes with just 2 rear seats, so it's a really luxurious model, super fast as well.
Fantastic. Yep, no, super.
With the supercharger. Look at this, pair of Volvos.
We've got, we just missed out the other police car.
How could we miss
now,
out?
Guy, I'm not going to say, is it because you're used to seeing police cars maybe?
Behind me.
Yeah. But no, we will make a mention again from the production company, film and TV company. So they've been used on set, and yeah, again, it's a bit of fun. They'll be going through with the sirens on as well. Yeah,
and we can honestly say we don't use them on the road to go to McDonald's, drive through. They just stay here. If they go down the road, we put the stickers over the police and the lights. So, pair of Volvo estates, lovely to see. The Torslander, it's the low pressure turbo, and over here the 24 valves. So that's the 3 litre V6 one. Again, no reserve, super luxurious barge.
Yes. Great. Absolutely. Now we've got the 1980 TR7 automatic, no reserve entry again, so that'd be an interesting one to see. TR7s, say, being a bit later, you know, they are a little bit more usable too.
Yeah, absolutely. Now this is a car that has, I remember when these came out, and I remember thinking, oh, Peugeot, you really did just get it so spot on. They turned a 406, which was just a good looking 4-door saloon or estate, into this really rather exotic coupe. Now it's the 3 litre V6, and this car has been extensively featured and chronicled in Classic Car Weekly, so by a little bit of history.
Yes, absolutely, and it has all the paperwork with that as well. We've got the Passat 2.8 V6. I mean, that for a, you know, sort of a motorway cruiser, that would be spot on.
I think it's about 75,000 miles.
Yep.
That was supplied new by Robinson's Volkswagen in Norwich. Leather interior, quite a specky car, that one.
Yep.
And of course the 4-wheel drive system. So you've got a V6 engine, you've got sure-footedness. It's a great practical classic winter car.
Absolutely. Another Morris Minor, again,
no
reserve entry. We've got a Volvo 850 GLT, that's one owner as well, one registered owner, so a good one to see. Now, one of my favourites, I always like a 205 GTI, especially in black with, as I say, just the red piping, I think looks spot on.
And this is the 1.9.
1.9, so yeah, it's the one you want.
Yep. So slightly slower on the country roads.
Yes.
would be
but it would take up most of the country roads. So
absolutely. So it's the DS 420 limousine, Jaguar underpinnings, 4.2 litre straight six, £3,000 to £5,000. Can you get more car for your money? It's just ridiculous. Great thing.
But again, also, you know, if you were to use it for weddings and things, you know, there is an opportunity through that as well.
You've got a family wedding coming up. Have you tried to hire a wedding car recently? It's hugely expensive. Just buy one and then sell it at the end.
And you'd have a story to tell with it.
Absolutely. Right, now we just need to mention, it's only just there for the moment, but is the Ford Transit. Now, we've sold this previously, haven't we?
Yes, and what's interesting about this is the county, isn't it? So you've got the bull bar on the front and
four-wheel drive,
jacked up. I think really looks the part. This had a very extensive restoration.
It has. A lot of money's been spent on this.
And unfortunately, our vendor's selling due to ill health, but he's absolutely loved it, and I think this is again another one to tuck away. We keep saying about tucking things away. That one is certainly suitable for that.
Absolutely. So shall we go down the middle? Here we are. So slightly newer for coupes, this 124 series CE in white suits it very well indeed. We've got a sensible guide on this one.
5 to 7 on this one.
5 to 7. Great looking car. I think you'd really enjoy using this. This is something you could use daily, day in, day out.
Yep.
Absolutely. Bit of a curveball is this Skyline, but the 4-door version. Lovely vendor, he drove it to the sale, had a chat with him. We're offering it no reserve, so if you fancy something a little bit different, Japanese, bit of a curveball, this could be your chance.
Yeah, we've got the Vectra Estate, again, sort of future classic. You know, these are quickly disappearing actually now, aren't they?
Yeah, and there's a bit of a link between these two cars.
Now I'm going to say it's the underpinnings, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It was at the time that Saab used Vauxhall Vectra underpinnings effectively. I think Saab actually got in so much trouble for changing it so much. They, you know, that's at the point when I think Saab was in financial difficulty, and they kept changing it, and obviously the managers didn't like that.
No, the Saab, this is a 9.3 convertible. I've had one of these, and they are a brilliant car. Richard Gunn, who writes for us, he's only just got rid of his one, or getting rid of it, to get another one.
Yes, and I think his one had done 180,000, and
so
I think he would safely admit that he didn't particularly look after it, so it had a hard life, but it still did 180,000 miles pretty much non-stop. So
another MG.
Yes, yeah, again, this one's a low mileage one. I think I will double check, 27,500 miles, guided 3,750 to 4,750, so really nice sensible mileage car. You've got the Smart.
Now this is the 4.2 Passion. Great fun little cars. If you haven't driven a Smart, you need to, because they are an absolute hoot. This has had an engine rebuild some time ago. Our vendors owned it for quite a number of years, driven it to the auction. Just a great little fun city car.
No reserve again.
No reserve.
Yep.
Audi TT, cabriolet just there, and here we have the BMW Z3 2.8, which is the wide body convertible. Great to see.
Yeah, we've got a Citroen Saxo, again, future classic. You know, these have all disappeared. I think this was, again, no reserve entry, and also quite sensible mile, showing 48,000 miles. You've got another XK8, but the convertible, so nice to see. Private plate on it as well. MGB GT, I will make a mention of this one. This one, particularly the interior, has been done really nicely.
Teal blue exterior, but that interior, Freddie, you're spot on. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, really, really nice to see. Dale, just come and have a quick look. I know it is dark, so we might struggle.
Entered by a local car club member.
Yeah, he drove it here, and also power steering fitted as well, which I had a chap ring up today who's interested, and he said just for that reason alone.
It's an electronic power steering system, and I think it just transforms. If you're getting on a bit and you're struggling, or we're all getting used to driving cars with power steering, that does make the world of difference.
Yeah, lovely.
Little Mini. Now, in gold.
And this is the Piccadilly edition as well.
It is the Piccadilly,
Now,
and I love it. I love the interior. We probably can't see it in this light, but it's
brown on brown.
brown on brown. It's just like that really comfortable pair of pajamas that you know.
So long as it's pajamas and not pants.
Yeah, absolutely. Great to see. Now, this XJS, Fred, you were talking to our vendor about this, weren't you?
Yeah, so it was a little bit of a later entry. Now an XJS, it's 3.6. Actually had a lot of money spent on it in recent years. It had a full respray, had all the arches done, and say professionally done as well. Actually looks, you know, really quite presentable. Guide of just 3,000 to 5,000 on this one, so that'd be a good one to see. Now, when these were designed, they're supposed to be mid-engined, so that's why you've got these sort of buttresses, but obviously that was scrapped, but they left them there. But I think they're actually a really good looking car.
They are flying buttresses, yes. Now, Wolsey 110. Great car, very, very rare now. Our vendor's grandfather owned this car, and there's a bit of a backstory to it, which have a look on the web. But he drove it to the sale. It's a reluctant sale. He sold it. He then bought it back,
Really?
And now life circumstances means that it's going to be moving on to a new home. But super rare example of a brilliant luxury barge.
Yes,
Love
absolutely.
And talking of luxury barges,
Yes. Now, Bentley, I think, again, when we talk about value for money, you know, this Arnage is certainly...
Arnage T. Now, this has got the Mulliner interior.
Yeah.
That you probably can't see, but yeah, that lovely pleated Mulliner interior in black with the machined aluminium inserts into the door and dash. Really does look the part.
Yeah, you've got, I think that's a August 25 MOT, driven to the sale as well. But yeah, really, really good value for money on these.
Yeah, absolutely. So another standard Vanguard. Now this has come direct from the film company. Look at that, what a great period car. I can imagine going to Goodwood in that, or that being
That would look
on a film set.
so good dressed up, wouldn't it?
And I do know what it's being used on, but I don't know that we can say. So
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's fresh. Put it this way, I think it was filming up until very recently. Mercedes 129 Series SL, and this has the pan roof. So it's a removable hardtop, and that's actually a pan roof. So it's a glass roof, quite rare to see.
Now, a diesel Sierra.
1.8 turbo diesel.
Yeah.
So the first Sierra diesels had a 2.3 Peugeot engine in them, and I do remember my friend at school, Anthony, his parents, John and Martha, had a Sierra 2.3 diesel, which we did abuse a little bit just to see how fast it got, and it was incredibly slow. This is a little bit more up and running, you know, in terms of performance, but yeah, quite a rare car. They just don't survive, do they?
No, and it'd be, you know, being the diesel, it would actually be fairly usable too.
Absolutely. Now, Nissan Escargot. So many people, they come in, they say, what is that?
Yeah.
You know, great car. We had one in the last sale. Japanese, based on, I thought they were based on a Micra. I was correct, and someone said they were actually based on a Sunny, but we'll say Micra or Sunny.
Really? Because I was also corrected, because I said Figaro originally, which was...
Based on, yeah. So, yeah, quite unusual. And they're just the shape. Escargot, snail, look at it from the side profile. You'll get it.
Yes.
Now, late entry, quite modern, a bit of a curveball, but it's the Hemi engined, which is the massive, stonking V8.
I bet that sounds the part.
SRT, I mean, it's a real weapon. Have a look inside. It's a very, very high spec car. Lovely. Have a look on the website. It's a late entry, and we'll have all the details. Golf Cabriolet here.
No reserve.
That's no reserve. And a Land Rover 110 that was originally at Heathrow Airport.
So, in fact, he actually, our vendor said to me, just around here was a sort of speaker system and a horn, I think, to scare birds away.
To scare the birds.
Yeah. So that's quite interesting. But the thing is, when you think about something like this that's been used on an airport, actually maintenance-wise would have been very much
Should have
kept up to date.
Been spot on. Now,
Yeah.
this, we're guiding it, it's a 2000 model Defender 110. We're guiding it 6 to 8. Our vendor's family have owned this since 2005, and I knew them when they bought it, so I remember them buying this. And
Wow.
yeah, so it's 19 years now they've had it, but I think sensibly priced for a 110 Land Rover.
Yeah, we've got another Morris Minor Traveller. This one, little bit of project to save bodywork and woodwork to do, but I love these actually. You know, they are rather charming.
Guiding it 3 to 5.
Peugeot 106, again a sort of future classic. This one, surprisingly, I think that would come up really nicely with a good mop, wouldn't it? But,
yeah, I think this is something that you could really spend some time on, and it's a diesel, so that's that super frugal diesel engine. I think it's 1500 cc diesel engine. They would just run all day, it seemed, on a thimble of fuel. I'm exaggerating slightly, but
yeah,
great cars.
Now, this week, what are we going to say about this one? So, you're asking, what is it? Now,
It's a Land Rover.
I was going to say, it is, believe it or not, a Land Rover. It is not a Beetle. So it's a Land Rover chassis and chassis running gear with a Beetle body effectively mounted on top of it. So this one, I mean, our vendor was saying, wasn't he, Guy, just how much fun he's had in this. It is really rather cracking. He said you can't go anywhere without
when he was
people
bringing it up, people were sort of waving
him down almost,
Yeah.
and I can't blame them, to be fair. Guide of 4 to 6 on this one. You'd really have some good fun off-road on that. I think that would just be one, we wouldn't usually say it, but that would be one to thrash almost, have some fun with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, lovely. The V70R, now again, for a fast estate, I really like these.
Yeah.
This one I think we've got 2.5, 3.5 of.
When they were racing those in the British Touring Car Championship,
Yeah.
I mean, to bring out an estate racer.
So good, so good.
Fabulous. Now, this has come from long-term ownership. It's the Subaru Brat pickup, what everybody knows them as. We're putting it in no reserve, and it's a 2-owner car.
Yeah.
So
A rare thing as well.
a really useful, practical 4-wheel drive and a pickup.
Yeah,
so
and you don't get many classic pickups, do you?
no,
So,
and that's it's got true classic credentials.
lovely, fantastic. We've got the Jaguar. This one, I think we've guided 2 to 3,000 off the top of my head. These XJs, they are just such good value for money again.
Stonking value.
My brother, he had a slightly earlier one. He had the square headlight one, but he just cruised around in that, and that was fantastic. I think, again, talk about bucket list, that'll be on one.
On there. Well, so if you are a fan of Daniel Craig, and perhaps you watched the film Layer Cake, so pre-Bond days.
Yes.
I think this is what really put sort of cars like this on the map. A twin turbo V8 estate car. It's just fantastic.
Spot on.
So these came out in 2002. This is a 2002 model. I think they're about 444 brake horsepower standard, but just a stonking car that really set the scene for fast estate cars moving forwards.
Yep.
107 series, the SL. Now, this is a 1972 car, so it's a very early car. I think probably only the second year of production, guided 7 to 9.
Yep, we've got the standard 10 beside me here. Again, this one's coming from the film company, so being used on set. And that one, I think, again, we've done a no reserve entry, so that'll be an interesting one to see.
So, late entry XR3i. Now, this car has spent the last 6 years, I think 6 years, in Spain. It's just landed today, so it's not been used for 18 months, 2 years or so. We've had it running and driving, but it's popping and bang. I think it wants some fresh fuel in it and wants a bit of a tinker.
I was going to say as well, because it's only arrived today, we haven't really had the time to go through it.
Absolutely. And this Celica Supra, it will run,
Yep.
but the fuel pump has packed up. So it's been in the ladies' lockup for a number of years. such a rare car.
Really, really rare. I think the guide on this is very set, 4,000 to 6,000.
Yeah.
I have a
Absolutely.
feeling that
Wants a bit of paintwork, but find another.
Interior's lovely, actually,
Yes.
having a look at it too. And you've also, I was having a look yesterday, got the original toolkit and jack in there as well, which is just nice little touches.
Brilliant. Now, MGB Roadsters. We love them. This is a 69 car, chrome bumper.
Wire wheeled too.
4,500 to 5,500 on the guide. I love the earlier dash with the speaker there, just in front of the gear knob, and these earlier type seats. I think they just look a little bit more classic, but a very, very sensibly guided and priced MGB Roadster.
Absolutely. I'm going to have to make a mention of these little Suzuki Whiz Kids, as they're known as. Now, these three have actually come from the same collection. They do all run. Now, I think this one actually we sold a few years ago.
We had a competition as to who could wash the car the best. You did that one, and I'm just, to be fair, Fred, you've lost.
I'm afraid I've let myself down on that one. No, we've had, as I say, all of these run. You'll see, I think these two were kept inside. This one, unfortunately, was outside and has taken the brunt.
It's sort of in an
undercover, but does run, and unfortunately, is we'll want some going through. But I think these are really, really rare, and to have three,
and we're selling them one after the other.
Yeah,
and I bet there hasn't been an auction where there's been three of these one after the other
in a row
for a long, long while. Now, here's for something completely different.
Yes,
Morris commercial. So this is the CV11 40. So it's pickup, and this dates from I think about 1943. So it's a wartime pickup, proper classic credentials. I love these bumpers down. Just have a look at this. If you're a slightly clumsy driver, obviously after the war years, not only were a lot of post office vans used to have these to avoid damage, but metal was at a shortage.
Absolutely.
So cut back. So great to see.
Super. So we're now heading into what we tend to sometimes call the field of dreams, aren't we, guys?
Absolutely. We've got this lovely little Austin 7 Ruby that is 90 years old this year.
Amazing. No reserve, and again, most of the cars you'll see out here are no reserve entry. So we've got this again arrived the other day, the little Fiesta Z-Tech. I think this was a sort of a prize winner back in the day, our vendor was saying, but obviously we'll want some recommissioning, but an interesting one to see. We've got the Land Rover. Tell me about that one, Guy.
So this is I think it's an ex-military Land Rover, so supplied new I think it's this one, to the military, 1965. So it's a Series 2A.
Yeah.
It's a short wheelbase. Not been used for a number of years. Entered no reserve. We've got a couple like this in the sale. So I think if you're after a winter Land Rover project, head down to Kings Lynn. Don't forget to like and to subscribe to the channel, and you will then get notified as to when new videos come out. Now, got to mention this.
Yes.
It shouldn't be, it doesn't.
I will say we tried our best with this. So this Spitfire, again, came to us, it again been off the road for a couple of years.
It's in quite nice condition, isn't it?
It is, yeah. And it was, because it'd been off the road, we thought, well, we'll put some fuel in it, we'll put some plugs in it, go through it. Again, time-wise, we are so limited here. We've had it running, it does run. It will want some going through some more though, because as I say, it will want some recommissioning. We've tried our best, but I mean, the guide on it, £2,000 to £3,000 for quite a tidy Spitfire. Again, do some mechanical work.
This is a great little winter project for someone. If you can't afford
the Mark 1 Escort
van, which we've got going in there, which is simply stunning, how about another one? Bit of a restoration project, guided 4 to 6, rare as hen's teeth, so great to see.
Now, again, speaking of Fords, we've got the XR2. This one, again, no reserve now. This one actually matching numbers car, so you've got engine and gearbox in it. As I say, I think it was purchased as a project, had just been sat ever since.
Vendors had it for years and years. Absolutely. Yeah. So this little Land Rover here, so this is a very late Series 2A Land Rover. So you've actually got the series, the lights of the Series 3 in the wings, but there's a badge on the back. Now, I just love this badge. So I don't know if you can see it, just there. So people associate Coombs with Jaguar.
Yes.
Mike Hawthorne. It's supplied by Coombs of Guildford. Just love the little badge
brilliant.
and style of a Land Rover. Next to it is an interesting little mini project. This is a very early one. So it's a Mark 1 61 car.
Yes, and again, a no reserve entry, 61 say being the earlier one. But yeah, that'd be exciting. What I tend to find with our November sale, and I think you'd agree, Guy, a lot of the projects tend to do well. People like to...
I mean, this has been, we will just put a caveat, it has been reshelled.
Yes. Yeah.
At some point in the past with a later shell. But as a source of spares or to restore, great.
Why not? Yeah.
Another Series 2A Land Rover project. Great to see. This is a 71 Land Rover with the cab top and the pickup back. Again, no reserve. And just to finish up out here, we've got a little line. We've got the Jaguar.
We've got, yeah, I say a Jaguar. That is the Mark II 3.8. Again, a restoration project, but often no reserve. We've got the rather
Reliant Regal.
I love that. That's just so wacky,
Regal.
isn't
Now,
it?
could I say this? But if ever the word regal was overused, I'm not saying anything. But yeah, great bit of fun.
Now, I really like this actually. A little Austin minivan. Restoration project. Minivans, we had that absolute cracker, fully restored one in the last sale that did really, really well. I think that is certainly worth saving, isn't it?
Dev, this is it's pretty good. Like, look at the roof gutters.
Yeah.
We keep seeing bits of yellow paint. Now I wonder if this has had a past as possibly as a BT van or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was going to say BT, or I don't know if AA vans did.
Sorry,
possibly.
not, but yeah, AA.
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And did British Rail.
That's it. British Rail as well.
We'll see. Sankey trailer. There you are. Great to tow behind your Land Rover. From UK Barn Finds is this Rover 200 BRM. Now they're getting super popular. This one does need a bit of TLC, Fred.
It does, but I'd argue even the bits alone, the BRM bits, are
you've
worth
got the grille at the front. You've got the seats.
Yeah.
There was a lot. They weren't just a standard Rover 25 with badges on.
No,
there was quite a bit that was changed. If you need parts, this is a really valuable source of spares. And mini Ritz. Look at that for a little project. No reserve.
No reserve, and also this now I believe it's Clark, isn't it?
Yes. So it's a truck tractor. Now I'm going to say this does win.
Come on. You probably can't.
This is
hear that.
Solid metal.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had anything in with wings that thick.
I loved it when Neil dropped it off, and Dan in the yard, bless him, just went up to it to push it and went nearly went over it.
Right, so we've now done outside and we've done day one. So that's Saturday finished. But what we're going to do is go and do day two.
Absolutely, we'll catch you in a bit.
Thanks. Okay, so it's now back to day two. And a brief interlude. Dale's charged the batteries in the camera.
We're all set to go again, aren't we? I think we have had just a bit of a word to try and speed it up ever so slightly.
Absolutely. So we're going to go whistle stop. Now we're going to mention these 7 cars.
Yep.
They've come from the Michael Lewis collection. Went down. They come from Essex. A really lovely little collection of cars, and I think they're going to do very, very well.
And also there's a video on YouTube from UK Barn Finds of these cars being extracted as well.
Absolutely.
So really interesting to see if you haven't seen that.
So we'll start with this Renault Estafette van. I love it. Love the colours. Rather like the interior of the Mini Piccadilly.
Yes. Brown on brown. Yeah.
Great thing. Looks super solid. These haven't run for some time, so they will need some recommissioning or a little bit more extensive work.
And I will also say all offered no reserve, these as well.
Absolutely. So Renault, let's kick it off. What a cracking thing. 1960 Ford Consul.
Yeah, again, but a really solid thing. Actually had a few inquiries on that. We've got the Austin, the Ascot as well.
Yeah, 600. So the engine is out of the car and any bits, but does come with it. Austin 10, 1932. Similar situation, we have engine removed with the car. I really love the look of this little Austin 10 Cambridge. Cracking looking car, blue over black.
Now, this little Austin 7, you mentioned about the interior on this, didn't you,
Very,
Guy?
very special. So it's featured in a well-known book on Austin 7s, the interior just being so original. It's the RK saloon, very genuine car, really love it.
Yep.
Great to see. And there's a little bit of paperwork. I think there's the driving licence of the brother of the first owner back in 1930 with it. 1934, Austin 7 Saloon from the Michael Lewis collection. And the last one, it's got to be my favourite.
Oh, this is the thing. Now, I will hold my hands up and say I'm not a traditional Beetle fan, but this one I really, really like. It is such a lovely example. I even said just open and close the door and see how nice that feels.
Just have a look in here first. So it's 1956. So it's an early Beetle, right-hand drive, UK car, small round rear window. But just look at this. I won't say it shuts like a Golf. That's the Golf was designed after this. There's the DNA. Now, a car that's had huge interest.
I mean, I think this is, I say star of the show, certainly we've had the most sort of pre-sale inquiries on. So it's the 87 Ford Sierra RS Cosworth. I did do a little video with our vendor on this.
Yep.
And yeah, story goes, as I say, obviously had the fire damage, but it is, I think, a really good project, straightforward.
Brilliant car. So he's had it from when it was 11 months old.
Yes.
And it's done, although it had a speedo broke, it's done a combined mileage of less than 30,000.
Yeah.
Had a minor underbonnet fire, not an insurance claim or anything like that, but it's a really straightforward repair. It's a lovely, lovely car.
And so the rest of the car as well, interior is really nice. Also, I did have a quick peek underneath. Obviously, access is quite limited, but sills and everything look really good. This is actually a really original car. Certainly worth doing the work. And I think, again, that is quite, because it was caught in time, I think that was, going to be quite a nice restoration.
A nice restoration project. Yep. Three over here. Little bit of an unusual car, but a sort of familiar shape to many of you. Looks like a Lotus Elan. It's actually not a Lotus Elan, but it's I think it really sourced its inspiration from that. It's an Avanti Gran Premio, offered, not been used for a number of years, £6,000 to £8,000. This is a more modern day version of that.
MGTF.
MGTF. Now, this is the 1500 version. Now, I love the TF with the integral lights into the wings and that sloping grille. It is a project. You're going to need to get all your tools out, but what a worthwhile project, guided at
sensibly guided too, to be fair.
Little Mini, there's a story with this. So I think it originally started out as a 66 Mini Cooper S. At some point it was reshelled, I think using probably a 1971 shell. Vendor purchased it thinking that it was, it was okay, but a few issues with DVLA,
yep.
And they're now insisting that it is going on a QH. So we're selling it as a great source of spares. Or go along and put it on a Q plate. But really, really great little project.
Yep. So we're now going to go into Hall 3, and these are, I say, the sort of main hall cars, and we start with this, the Armstrong Siddeley Typhoon.
Absolutely, it's got to be one of the prettiest cars in the sale. Beautiful coat of paint, two-tone blue over grey. It's a 1949 car, and that's really quite an advanced car for 1949. They were an expensive model. There's a very, very strong following for these, but we're entering this no reserve.
And I'm really, I think that is going to do particularly well.
Absolutely.
So that'll be the first car that comes through. I think we'll...
Should we go down this row? So here we are, a little 1928 Austin 7 Chummy, Bentley Arnage red label, and a car that we went out. There's a little video of Freddie and myself
Yes.
going out with this. An absolute belter. So Isuzu Troopers, this first generation of them are rare, but they are particularly rare in this condition. 61,000 miles on the clock. It's the petrol V6 automatic in fabulous condition. It really is in stunning condition. 7-seat conversion, really like that.
We've got the Rover P5 Coupe, and this one of our favourites. I think we both agreed we really like this, didn't we?
Absolutely. So unusual for a coupe to be in solid black.
Yes.
A lot of the saloons are sort of ministerial plates. This is the 3-litre, so it's the 6-cylinder coupe. Beautiful interior. The plate it used to have was VTV1.
Wow.
So if you have that plate and you wish to reunite it with the car, here's the car.
Yeah.
Just look at that interior. It's lovely. And now we've got a couple of yellow cars, or 2 or 3 yellow cars in this sale. And this is the mini-based Austin Scamp. What an absolute hoot.
Yes. Yeah.
So great fun of summer fun, not, I'm getting my words tied up there, it's terrible.
Well, it's getting late, to be fair.
It's getting late, we're burning the midnight oil. Yeah. So if you can't afford a mini moke, or even if you just think, no, I just want something different, go for this.
And this is no reserve as well, isn't it?
No reserve.
Yep. We've got a lovely low mileage Mini again. This one, I love the colour, really bright in orange. And look at the wooden dash. Have a look at that.
Yeah.
I'll just quickly pan in there if you can, because that caught me by surprise when it arrived here as well. But I think that's great.
Lovely little car, that. TVR, it's the 350i, great proper wedge,
Yeah.
a real piece of 80s and into the early 90s design.
We've got this 33,000 mile Rover 214. Again, no reserve. We've got so many no reserve entries in this sale. This one really clean, and it's just one you don't see anymore.
Again, you know, they used to be so common or as a sight on the roads, and they've just vanished.
Yeah.
But they're a really great car to drive. Thin pillars, lovely light steering. A great car.
Yeah.
E30, look at that.
Yeah, we like an E30 here, don't we?
Yeah, E30 Cabriolet automatic with the contrasting blue roof. Love the lattice alloys, and that is the top of the range 325i convertible.
We've got the Daimler limo, and again, we were saying, you know, with these limos, you know, it's just one of those things. You can imagine this for, as I say, you know, wedding use and things.
It's
it would
a very,
be perfect.
very ministerial car, isn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the Majestic limousine. Left-hand drive, really unusual. So for those of you watching on the continent or further afield, this could be a really interesting buy.
And I think this has travelled quite a bit, because I know in the paperwork it's had Italian invoices and some invoices from Hong Kong as well. So.
Absolutely. Now this is a great example of the Porsche 944 Turbo. They really are a cracking car. This has been very well looked after. It's a manual car. Yes, it's done a fair few miles, but it's total testament that they can do it.
I was just about to be fair, they do that. So,
yeah. I really like this car.
Brilliant.
That's great. Something a little bit different over here. Liveried up is this Trojan van. Now, we actually who drove this? The vendor drove it for the video. And I remember I was standing outside when he came sort of careering back in the yard. Great bit of fun, £6,000 to £8,000.
We've got the Daimler 66. Now, I think in 2010, this had a restoration totalling £40,000.
Yes. And you can see it, can't you? The paint, the interior, it's all been retrimmed. Great looking car, obviously with the V12 engine.
And again, you know, £40,000 spent on it. We've got it 10.5 to 12.5.
Yeah.
Seems a bargain, doesn't it?
Absolutely indeed. The Carrera 4 Cabriolet Tiptronic gearbox with the removable hardtop. I like these. It's a C4, so it's the 4-wheel drive version. Guided sensibly 16 to 20,000 miles, and I think it's done 43,300 miles.
Now, I love this Citroen CX. This was a bit of a later entry to us, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, it just, again, sorry, Dale, to have your work cut out looking sideways,
interior
but we have to on this one.
Exceptional. We sold this car previously.
Yep.
Some years ago. They're a rare sight on the roads. The Prestige, again, I don't know how many left, but if you just look at the amount of legroom in the back.
And I was just saying, that's like having a sofa in the back, isn't it? It's amazing.
It is super, super comfortable. And the long wheelbase with those extended rear doors.
Yep.
Very, very special car, a very reluctant sale for our lovely vendor. Now, this is a 1979, I think, from memory. Lotus Caterham 7. It's the real deal, and an early car, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Really love it. Super condition. It's been looked after during his long-term ownership, and I think he's really hoping that it goes to someone, a custodian that's going to take it to its next chapter.
Yep.
Couple of cars.
Head this way. Yep.
Yeah, over here. So you may say, what is this? I haven't seen one of these.
Well, this has a bit of a mixture of Italian. It has a bit of a mixture of, some would say, and I think Glenn was saying earlier, almost a little bit of a sort of an old Audi kind of.
You've got Italian, German. If you go from the back, it could be a Lamborghini, a Ferrari.
You've got the sort of the Ferrari kind of almost rear end.
But nice Ford mechanicals.
Yeah.
It's an OSI. So if you haven't seen one of these before, I mean, that interior is beautiful. Get out your Observer's Car Spotters book and look it up, because they are a real eyeful. And talking of cars with a story to tell.
Oh, this is fantastic. Now, I love a Pagoda, and this one is just really special. An off-road Pagoda. Whoever thought of it, genius. So a 250 SL, 1967. Now, this one has done, it was around the world in 80 days.
Connection to Jules Verne.
Yeah, around the world in 80 days. I think you said it came second.
I believe it came second. It's been to Iceland, it's been to Africa. There's a bull bar that comes with it. I mean, a Pagoda with a bull bar. We might have to put that on now, just for a bit of fun.
I will say, Dale, if you just pan to the off.
I think Dale's just had to edit that bit out. So we'll move swiftly on. They're working very, very hard and diligently out there. So, right, I'm going to go and mention this because I should stop saying I love it, because I love so many of these cars, just as you do. Something a little bit different to the Lotus Elise is this Vauxhall VX 220. Best colour.
Absolutely.
7,000 miles. Family owned from new.
Wow. A
real peach. Some say that they handle better than the Lotus Elise. And who's to argue? But this is a real great example.
And what's interesting here at ACA, we've had a couple of these now, haven't we? And it seems to be, ACA seems to be the place to sell one, because we have a lot of interest in them. So
I'm going to mention this now. I know we're next to it. So this is a car. You think, what's this doing? A 2006 Range Rover L322 in the sale, in this beautiful blue colour. The reason it's here, it is the best one we've ever seen. 3,780 miles?
Yes.
You sit in it, it feels new. It smells new. The steering wheel is
just like a new car.
It's lovely. Entered, no reserve. Where's it going to end up?
And again, this is the thing. Do you put it in a collection? Do you use it?
Absolutely.
What do you do?
You know,
that'd be really.
I'd rather this than a brand new Range Rover.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, something a little bit different is the Austin 7 Hamlin Special. A bit of a thing back in the day, very diminutive, like this, with the Ford side valve engine. Great looking little car. You just almost feel that you could just pick it up.
Yes.
and carry it around. But a real eyeful.
Now, I know you love the Alvis, Guy, don't you? We do have to make a mention of that. So a 3.5 litre 1936 Alvis saloon. And this one, Guy, did you say, was it around
I think I probably better not say how much our vendor has spent on this.
But subject to
a huge amount of money. Advancing years it means that he's just passing it on to the next owner. We're being really sensible and guiding it at £15,000 to £20,000. I think they only made about 68 of these 3.5 litres, and I understand this to be the last one made. I love those big P100 lights.
The Lucas lights,
twin spare wheels on there.
Yeah, looks the part, doesn't it?
It really does.
Yeah.
So come along, come to Anglia Car Auctions and buy it.
So we've got another XKR supercharged one. Looks quite good with the brown and sort of burgundy combo on that one. We've got the Dino. How about this?
So Fiat Dino Spider, the Ferrari 2-litre engine, V6, Nardi wood-rimmed wheel, manual box. Brilliant. Such a pretty car.
Yep.
What do they say in the Italian job? I know not about this car, but pretty car.
Pretty car.
Absolutely spot on. So very much like that.
Speaking of Italian pretty cars, Fiat X19. Now this one showing only just 24,580 miles, and the condition of this is absolutely lovely. I will just see potentially, Guy, if you pull that handle just for the boot, just down on your side by the seats. Oh, there we go. That is actually open. Dale, just have a look at these. You've even got Fiat X19 luggage bags with it as well. And I think that's absolutely super.
It's brilliant, isn't it?
Condition is really nice. I did actually have someone ring up today and he was interested, and he was coming a long way, and I said you won't be disappointed, so he's going to come and have a look at that.
And these are a car that's gaining in popularity. What else do you get that's Italian, mid-engined?
Yeah.
And just really quite exotic.
And that sort of 80s two-tone combo going on. Really good fun.
Freddie, you've got a couple of BMW M3s.
Yes, again, sort of future classic. We like an M3 here at ACA. Again, remembering all these are the Sunday cars, so keep an eye out on the catalogue. We will say as well, all the details are on there. We have the full listing. We also have the videos on there of them going down the road too.
Yeah, so you've got the blue and the grey. Great cars.
Yeah. Astra GTE.
16 valve.
16 valve. Now, we've had some good results with these, haven't we?
We have. I love the period car phone.
Oh, it's fantastic, isn't it? I think we're that's just locked in position.
It's great, but 16 valve GTE, loads of interest, great colour. I'd love to see where that ends up. The Fiat 1100R Familial.
Yes, which is one again we have.
We've sold it before, haven't we?
Sold it before. The vendor's done some work to it. I think he did some work with the carb as well, setting that up.
Yeah, because it's got a Holly, bizarrely, for a small engine car, it's actually got a Holly carb on it.
Yeah.
From factory, so quite unusual. I
love the roof rack. You can imagine some old sort of, Italian brown sort of suitcases on the top of that as well. Now, this guy, you've got to make a mention.
Okay, so what have we here? We have a Volvo. Okay, nothing quite so unusual with that. Don't often have pop-up quick release on the bonnet, and just have a look at the rear arches if you could. Just go down there. Why are they so wide? What's going on here? So, come and have a look under the bonnet. My goodness me, it is a Chrysler V8 engine removed from a Jensen Interceptor.
That's rather...
It was made quite a number of years ago. It was used as a drag car. It's a total and utter hoot. It's got NOS, automatic gearbox. If you just want to have a laugh, I think this is the car for you.
Definitely.
Now, whilst the light's here, Dan, if you just come round this side, if you could, we want to show you the sign writing on here. We love a commercial. We love a Survivor. Now, this is a 1939 Morris 10 van. What a survivor that is.
And again, we don't like the word patina, but this
Has it by the bucket load.
absolutely, and you would just have to leave it absolutely as it is. It's absolutely spot on as it is. Think about, you know, filming again. That would just look so good on a period drama. And you know,
and if you live in Watlington,
perfect.
perfect, absolutely. How about this? The Volvo Amazon 122 S Rudd Speed, great car, well built. Such a lot of fun can be had with that. Freddie, over to you with the BMW.
I love this actually. This 2001 BMW. It's the 525D, only one owner. This covered around, I think, 75,000 miles. But the condition on this is absolutely spot on. One owner, they've really cherished it. The interior, I mean, the seats are just absolutely immaculate at the back. Really, really nice. And again, a usable, you know, you could buy this and use it. I would want to tuck it away because I think just with the condition on it, how nice it is, it deserves that. But if you wanted to buy something to use, what a quality car to buy.
Absolutely. Now, someone that likes their cars so much that they keep hold of them. So our Fender bought this when it was just 3 months old from the dealer. It was a dealer demo. It's the WRX STI Pro Drive, and it's a Type UK car. So low mileage. I think we're about, what are we, Fred, on this? 42,000 in lovely order, and we're guiding this really, really sensibly at £8,000 to £12,000.
Now, Wolseley Saloon, I love this. As the police car, now I don't think started life necessarily as one, but it's got all the period accessories.
The megaphone actually works.
It works. I mean, we have.
Bells work. Do we know which is the button for the?
I think you have got the instructions inside.
For the. Hold on. Let me just have a little look.
There we are.
It's brilliant.
I think that would be absolutely brilliant. Imagine that at a car show, you know, everyone would be looking at it, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. A really, really pretty car, fabulous colour, is this 1948 Rover P2. So we've got the Rover P2 in the first day, and then we have this one. Beautifully patinated interior, lovely coat of paint, sensibly guided at £8,000 to £10,000.
Now, I will make a mention of the Aston 1978 Aston Martin, the V8. Now, this is the Banham conversion.
So, post-factory
Yeah.
conversion. So if you didn't have a factory Volante, you could send it to Banham. I think they made about 10 or 20. They converted them into convertibles. And yes, it does need some paintwork. There's some micro blistering.
But driven to the sale, an estimate 25 to 35.
And our vendor's taken this down to the south of France.
Yeah, he's
been
toured around.
all over in it.
Yeah, he's enjoyed it.
So I think that's got to be the best entry level price for a V8 Aston.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Lovely 3 litre Ford Capri. Guide on this one, £9,000 to £12,000.
It's the gear. It's had a fortune spent on it.
Yep.
It's been really, really well done. Automatic, so really nice car to drive. Alloy wheels, Everflex roof. Cracking.
Now, I've got to make a mention of this. I did make a mention in our very early preview video that we did, which now about a month and a half ago. This 190E Mercedes, but only one owner from new. 2 litre, and this is just so lovely. I think we're showing 43,850 miles. Really, really well presented. Absolutely lovely. Really straight car. I was looking down the side of that. If you pan the camera down the side of that, you'll just see how straight that is. It's even got in the boot the original Mercedes car cleaning kit, unused. Got the first aid kit in the back. Just absolutely lovely. I don't think the spare wheel's been on. It's lovely. £4,000 to £6,000. Again, I really hope that is going to do more.
Really, really pretty car in a very grown-up colour. I like this. Blue, 2006 XK 4.2 litre convertible, 61,000 miles, guided 8 to 9,000 pounds. Really, really good looking car. Trump Stag, what a bright thing that is. Hard top, as well as the soft top with the Everflex, so contrasting, 12 to 14,000 pounds on the guide.
We've got the Holland and Holland Range Rover, and I think only 100 were put over here, yeah, for the UK.
Colour combination, with that brown
David spec.
David spec.
And
It's a really smart car, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we had one in the last sale, and yeah, I think these are absolutely spot on. You can imagine that in on a country estate.
Expensive car when new.
Yeah,
very much so. So this is, I think, a great example of classic British car, Austin Healey 106. It's the BN4. You've got the little additional seats. You've got to be quite small to go in those, but this is guided. It's a really good looking car, isn't it?
Yeah.
Drives well.
Yep.
We're guiding this at 19 to 24,000 pounds. Our vendor is a very sensible man, and a lot of interest.
Yes, I'm not surprised, to be fair.
Of interest. So, cracking car, drives well. Another car that drives well is this 2002. It's a 996 Carrera 4S. When you look at it from the back, it just sits. It's lovely, sort of fat arches. Manual box,
yep.
Which is great to see. 4 brand new Pirelli tyres, just been MOT, guiding this 16 to 20,000 pounds. Now I'm going to go over. Well,
yeah, you're stuck for choice now, aren't you?
Two luxury cars.
Yeah,
completely different, both European. So the Citroen, I have to just keep occasionally just walking past, sitting in this car. They were so comfortable. This is the DS23 Palais.
And so ahead of their time. I mean, I always think the single spoke steering wheel, just the design
and
on it.
And they carried that on several models, but it's just a fabulously eccentric, but very practical and usable car. Really lovely. This Mercedes SEL, so it's the long wheelbase version. It's 1984. It's a 500 SEL. Now it's come from a company collection, but this has only one recorded owner from new. And look in it. Fabulous condition.
Presents really well, doesn't it?
It does. Really well. I think it's where are we on the miles? 71,000 miles when it was last stamped on the service. I can't see what it's got on the clock now. 77 now. So yeah, fabulous looking car.
RS2000, which we sold quite a few years back now.
Yes.
RS2000, 1977. We've guided this one, I think, quite keenly, 20 to 25,000 pounds. We keep saying it's a Ford sale, and we've got some more Fords coming up.
Absolutely. Now look at this. So it's a 2003 Ford Focus RS in arguably the colour.
Yes.
5,630 miles and one owner.
One owner.
Only one owner. He's entered it into the sale. It came out of, it was in storage, professional car storage, for about 7 or so years?
Around that. It's even actually got the certificate in the folder
that
proving it's been
in storage. We then took it over to our local helpful Ford main agent,
Marshalls.
Marshalls. So shout out for them. Thanks for fitting us in so quickly. And they gave it an oil and filter service and put a fresh MOT on it.
Yep. So that's really a nice collector's car, just with the mileage and one owner.
Lovely.
Spot on.
And talking of super Fords.
Yes. Mark 1 Escort van. Now, you saw the project one that we had outside. This one has been subject to a very, very extensive and very good restoration.
Yeah. Maybe you're too impatient for the project. You want to drive it now.
You want something now.
18 to 20,000 pounds.
Yep.
But find another as good as this. It's lovely.
I will make a mention as well, the Spitfire, driven to the sale from London. This one, again, we actually had it a few years back now, a very reluctant sale. I believe our vendor's moving abroad, so it's got to go. But he spent quite a bit on it as well.
One owner car,
one owner,
when we sold it, who was a wing commander, I think?
That's it, yeah. I mean, just, you know, the pure fact it was garaged all that time as well, and our vendor has kept it garaged too, so it's been kept really, really nicely. Guide of £5,000 to £7,000, but for a nice Spitfire, I think that's very sensible. Yep, absolutely. Cracking little Mini here. Now, this was a Bridge Classic Cars competition car previously. Really, really lovely to look at. Love the colour, love the contrasting brown interior. I just do like a standard Mini. Fabulous condition, isn't it? Yeah. Guided £6,000 to £8,000. Now, what have we missed? We've got two more in here before we go into another haul. Austin 7 Ulster Special 1929 with the aluminium bodywork. Beautiful, beautiful car. And this Ford, it's the 1.6, isn't it? It is. Just stick the wiper down if you could. Sorry, with the wipers, there is a reason they either haven't been Hooverjet or such like. But 17,000 miles. It's incredible. Fabulous, fabulous condition. I think this is one that will end up in a Ford collection. It's a really, really super car. So, shall we pop into Hall 5, I think, next? Absolutely. Let's have a look in Hall 5. Again, really sensibly guided. 1958 Triumph TR3A, 12 to 15,000 miles. A good driving car. A reluctant sale, but I think a great. I mean, do they get much cheaper than this for decent cars? 12 to 15,000 as the guide. So yeah, no, I think that's an interesting one. The Beaufort. Probably not many of you have seen something quite like this. Now, Beaufort, I think, as concept, is quite interesting again because, you know, we're talking about earlier, Guy, like with the Panther, you've got the classic look. Classic look with modern running gear. And it is an eyeful. Anyone will say, yes, it is an eyeful, absolutely. Look at it. £6,000 to £8,000. I'm sure you can do a few weddings or proms in that. Yes. Now, this is the one, again, we were saying earlier, and I said my brother had a XJ6. This is the type he had, the XJ40. XJ40, these ones with the square headlamps, I actually prefer them. It's a bit controversial because some people prefer I like these. But this one's just covered just 24,000 miles. I love the half leather, and I think it's West of England cloth. Yes. But it's actually really comfy. Yes, absolutely. No, really nice. So I like that too. Austin 7 Ruby base van. So it's someone's made it into a van. I'm not sure when, but it works really well. So great little project, great little Austin 7 that someone's done as a project into a van. We've got another Arnargin. Absolutely. So yeah. And then behind you another E30. Cabriolet. Yes, yeah. We've got the G-Wagon, which again, if you think about it, sort of utilitarian, that ticks the box, doesn't it? Yeah, ex-Singapore Army. I think they're just brilliant. Yeah, brilliant. Triumph TR4A, 12 to 15,000 pounds. It's had quite a bit spent on it. Long-term ownership, wire wheels, cracking looking car. Very, 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 very British. Super. Yeah. Little something completely different. Yes. It's the little Fiat Spider in left-hand drive, debumpered. But I think, you know, this is the thing. So debumpered, I'm going mad. Yeah. I was going to say. I mean, sometimes the American spec, as I say, you could debumper it, lower it, and I think that would do well. But really keenly guided, and yeah, bit of Italian classic for you. So Ford Escort Cabriolet, one owner from new, and this is done 17,000 miles like the last one. Those seats are quite interesting. I don't think I've seen. They're like a wingbacks. Yes. But yeah, look very comfortable. Absolutely. Yeah. 205 CTI, this one. So GT, the convertible version of the CTI, 4 to 6
guide on that. I think that's a really honest car.
Yeah.
You look at the interior, it just looks, it looks.
And I have to say, the CTIs are sort of growing on me. You know, I said earlier, I like a GTI, but this, you know, open top.
GTI with the roof down.
Yeah, best of both worlds.
Absolutely.
We've got the MG-TF, and that's showing, I say, just 12,000 miles. Really well presented. It has had a insurance claim made, but I think it's going to be something very.
You look around it, you can't see.
You look at
that was a while.
Yeah, I think it was at the point where, unfortunately, insurance
values were low.
Yeah, and insurance companies.
Yeah.
But the car itself is certainly reflective of the mileage.
Yeah,
so.
really lovely car. Some in Alpine, second one in the sale. This one, retrofitted with a 2.8 V6. So if you can't quite afford a Tiger with a V8, this is the next best thing, and it's going to have a little bit of grunt, isn't it?
And no reserve.
No reserve.
No reserve. We've got a very nicely presented Morris Minor. I love that in black, actually, with the sort of contrasting red. Really good.
It's the smartest saloon we've got in the sale.
Definitely.
It does really set itself off in black with that red coach line. Love it.
Yeah, and it's say had, I think, new wings and lots of money spent on that.
Mark II Golf GTI, 16 valve, 3-door. Bit of a project car, runs and drives. Been in storage for a little bit. Now you'll see slightly lowered and with the wheels on, but it does come with original
set of original wheels and the springs to set that back to standard. So that would look really cracking standard. Guide of 4 to 6. So runs and drives, just wants a little bit of going through, just being in storage, but you've got all the bits to do it.
Fabulous. MGB GT
V8.
They're all important to one letter and one number.
Yes.
But yeah, fabulous sounding car. 12 to 14,000 pounds. Is pretty inexpensive for one of those.
Yeah. Got another Traveller. So we've got a few Travellers now in for this sale.
I think is this Snowberry white? I think.
Yes, I think they did two, didn't they?
With the black interior. It's a really nice looking car. So I think our vendors oiled the wood annually, which is something you should do if you have one of these. And it's the deluxe model. There's the original bill of sale that comes with this.
Lovely.
And I don't know what car they part exchange. I think they got £25 for it. So yeah, interesting, but great to see. 1946 Singer Super 10. Now I must confess I don't remember selling one of these before. Super rare car. Quite unusual. It's going to stand out on the road or if you go to a classic car show.
Yeah, we've got the Audi, the Cabriolet. Now it's the 2.8, so it's the top of the range one.
V6.
V6, and yeah, silver and black looks spot on.
That's the final edition.
Yeah, that was the you know, so it is like top of the range. Really well presented. You've got MOT till April, and I think just 65,000 miles showing.
Yeah, brilliant. I love that. Lovely colour.
Yeah, future classic, these Jags. Now, I think, you know, again, value for money, what I keep saying, I know I keep saying, but what this would have been new, it's so much better buying something like this than going out and spending.
Don't buy a new one, just buy someone else.
Let someone take the hit, yeah.
Absolutely. Cracking looking car, £6,000 to £8,000 on the guide.
Now, this NG, that's NG, TF, obviously a recreation as such of a MG TF, but this one really kind of keenly guided. I think we've done £3,000 to £4,000. Again, you've got the look. More modern.
Gear,
yeah.
And it does look well.
It still looks the part, and I think for £3,000 to £4,000, you still look the part, and it's usable.
No, originally supplied to an embassy. I forget the embassy, so I have to look it up. But it was originally supplied in London and used as an embassy car. This is the 450 SEL, so it's the long wheelbase. But what makes this one super special is it's fitted with the 6.9 litre V8 engine. So this is top of the tree back in the day. So in 1980, they didn't get...
This was the bee's knees,
this was the bee's knees.
Yeah.
It's had quite clearly a fortune spent. It's been resprayed. There's photos on file of it being stripped down. It's been completely resprayed and retrimmed.
I was going to say, have a look at that.
Slide the camera in here.
If you like a bold interior, you're not going to get much more
and
than that.
I love those period sort of intertype alloys. Are really quite cool. And we're going in this 12 to 14,000 pounds. The last E30 we're going to mention is this 1988 325i Sport, 12 to 14,000 pounds. A real Eiffel, two-door with the spoiler on the back. I mean, they were the car that everybody of a certain age lusted after. So yeah, great to see.
Looks the part. Now we're going to go into the final hall, which is hall 4. So these again will be sort of the last of the Sunday cars. We've got some interesting bits. So you'll see the motorbikes, which will be offered early Sunday. That's before the cars.
Motorbike. I think they're going to be going through at 11:30 on Sunday. The motorcycles. Bentley Continental GTC. This is the 4-litre V8.
Got the Alpha GTV. This one I think has been unused for a little bit of time, so you might just want some going through. But nicely presented, bodywork looks really good, which that's the main thing on these Alphas. So that's a nice one to see. We've got the Mustang, really looks the part. Again, had a few inquiries on this one. A similar story actually. Don't think it's really been used, so might want.
I think it wants a little bit of attention to the steering.
Steering rack.
Not one you're going to drive away. But I think a lot of the hard work's been done on this car. A car that I'm particularly fond of. So we've got the RS outside, which is the 4.2 litre twin turbo. This is the 4.2 litre non-turbo S6. So it's a little bit more of a manageable car. This was supplied new to a lady. I think she was a director at Shell. And she had it as a company car. And then when it was 3 years old, I think she purchased it from the company, and she kept it up until I think last year. Done 121,000 miles. It's in exceptional condition. It drives spot on. Very reluctant sale from our vendor, but if you have a look down, a little bit of the telltale signs on these is just these lovely wide sort of fat arches that just give the game away for those that know. We mentioned Beetles earlier. This is a 1972 from memory. It's been a little bit modified with this satin black interior, different steering wheel, MP type wheels, 4,000 to 6,000 pounds on the guide. So very interesting. Rover Mini Cooper Monte Carlo, and I think this has actually had John Cooper. Went back to John Cooper work, so it's had a lot done to it, and I think it's the only one that's known to have been a works conversion. Very special car, looks to be in stunning condition, and our vendor says it drives spot on. So really special.
How about this? A little 65 Austin Healey Sprite, again, no reserve. Would be a good little sort of track car just to have a bit of fun with.
There's something about a red MG or a red Austin Healey or a red trunk with the white roof. It just looks the part, doesn't it?
Yeah. Are we we'll continue behind me and
down here. So Bentley Continental GT, and that's with the W12 engine. Huge amount of car for the money.
I've got to make a mention of this Austin Healey Frog Eye Sprite. Again, we love a Frog Eye here, don't we, at ACA?
Yeah.
This one offered no reserve, so how about that? It's really exciting, no reserve entry.
I think people will be there's a lot of interest in that.
Definitely. The Humber
Imperial. Now we were both looking around this earlier, and I did with Jeff as well. That interior is so genuine.
Yes, yeah. It really looks the part, doesn't it?
You've got this leather. It doesn't look like it's been sort of recolonized. You've got a lovely wooden dash, all the dials.
All the chrome on there.
Yeah, great looking car. And quite a bit of presence on the road. Talking of presence.
Yes, I love a Shadow 1. Now, a Shadow 1, I just think the Shadow 2, yes, okay, you know, sometimes people say about the driving style of the Shadow 2. The Shadow 1, though, with the chrome bumpers, really looks the part.
They do look the part, and the thing that I love about these earlier roads is just the the steering wheel is
So thin, yeah.
and the steering's so light, you just
You
waft along.
Yeah, you
glide it.
You waft along. The this one, I say, being a 72 car, really well presented because it had a respray a few years back. I think that was, there we go, in 2015, cost of around £4,500, guide of 6 to 8 on that one. A lot of car for £6,000 to £8,000. Now, I think we'll go onto the back here, Guy, won't we? So these are...
Okay, I'm going to mention, this has come, it's a bereavement sale, so it's was owned by our vendor's father for 20 years. It really does look to be in super condition, great panel fit, but it's not been run since 2019. So you will need to do a little bit of fettling, those of you in the know. It's a 1934 Austin 10, guided £3,000 to £5,000. We've got the 63 Mini project, loads of brand new panels, entered, no reserve. A 66 Anglia, super. No reserve, so a bit of a Ford sale.
Again, speaking of Fords, this one owner XR2 project.
Yep.
One
Just
owner,
pulled out of a garage.
Yeah, one owner and no reserve again. Looks all complete, doesn't it? You know, I think
absolutely.
That's a really good.
Interior looks to be in really good condition.
Yeah.
You want to get some tyres, you want to get bits and bobs going to it, but fabulous project for the winter.
I'm going to make mention of this Austin Atlantic. Now, this was quite an early entry to us here at ACA. This one, the story with it, unfortunately, had a restoration attempt. Unfortunately, the company that was used, I think, went into administration. There was a lot of issues surrounded that. The vendor has had it for a considerable amount of time, though. Spent a fortune. But most of the hard work's been done. You see all the body panels. The nice thing about seeing it in primer, you can see the car. It's solid. So a really good starting point for a restoration. So a lot of the hard work's been done. Unfortunately, we'll want the interior sourcing because, again, the company that did it, I think, unfortunately, that was lost in the process. So, but what a really good starting point because the shell is there, it's solid, and again, a no reserve one.
Brilliant. So, final Ford we'll mention today, bit special. So it's a Capri, 2.8 injection, but it's a Jan Speed turbo.
Jan Speed.
So entered no reserve, been off the road for quite a number of years. I'm looking at a tax disc in it that's 1992. Is that when it was last on the road? But it doesn't look like it's been got at.
No.
I think if you restore this car, you're the first person to restore it. So
yes,
you can see what you're getting. Love the Recaro seats, no reserve. Very interested to see where that goes. Now, this is a car that you and me have got real history.
Now, I have a story with this, don't I? Because when we were extracting this, so this was from, say, a collection that
David Brown in London,
collection, and it was amongst, you've probably seen it on the videos. It was amongst the collection of E-types and ACs.
Two other cars above it, didn't it?
Yes, yeah, because this was up against the back of the wall in the sort of the kind of garage, and when we were down there, as we were extracting, I'll put it this way: I was leaning across about here,
trying to pump a tyre up.
Yeah, and I'm laying flat over it, and it was only till, bearing in mind you've got everything on top of us, it was really cramped in that garage. I'm trying to get air in that tyre. It was only till I got up I'd been realised I'd been laying on a
mummified fox.
Yeah. So that was quite an interesting one. But anyway, the story with it.
We sold it to a lovely chap, a local fellow, and unfortunately he's passed away. So the family are offering it up for sale again. So if you missed out with the David Brown collection,
here's your chance again.
Yeah. Now this has had a lot of work done to it. It's a bit of a stalled restoration project. So 1934 Morris Minor Tourer. No reserve, you can see what comes with it. So much has been done, it just wants taking over the line, doesn't it?
Yes, yeah, it's kind of nearly there, isn't it? It's
one more big push, and I think you'll be there. Now this has come from the William Hunt collection. Unfortunately, William, he's run out of time for this one.
Yep.
Spent a lot of money so far. It's got some new.
I was going to say, really nice new wings.
New front wings. But it does need taking. We've got a logbook. It's guided at 3 to 5. Sits on nice chrome wire wheels. It's been properly braced, as you can see, during the restoration process. But it's stalled. It needs the next new owner to take it to the next level.
Yep.
The final car we mentioned.
This is the final one.
Yeah, not the final car in the sale,
no.
But just as we're going around, it's this Austin Princess limousine. Now it does run, we have run, but it's got a sticky starter motor.
Yep.
But I love the division, love the car. Great, it's just huge.
It's huge is the best way to describe it, but very sort of ministerial, as you're saying.
Yeah, well, again, like the one we had in a previous sale, this was originally supplied to the Ministry of Defence. So the MOD had a number of these for their top brass, field marshals and wing commanders, not wing commanders, but, well, could have been actually, to run around in. So, fabulous car. It's had an interesting history.
Yep.
What's been discussed in the back, we will never know. And on that note, we normally would go through to the automobilia room, but we're not. I think you've all had enough.
Yep.
I think there is a lot of automobilia to go through. The bikes, we're just going to walk past and just make mention, Dale, if you could just get a few shots whilst we sign off, if you could, please.
The bikes, again, we've got a selection for this one, quite a selection. There's something for everyone. You've got anything from a little 50cc Fizzy to 1000cc Yamaha. You've got everything.
We've got BSA, we've got BMW, even got the Royal Enfield combination, if you fancy mimicking Wallace and Gromit
Yes.
over the Christmas holiday. So do remember to check in, like and subscribe. The auction's this weekend, which is the 2nd and 3rd of November. We'd love to see you here. If you can't get here, don't worry, you can bid online or you can book a telephone bid. And any of the team here...
More than happy to help.
Yeah, so thank you very much.